it's kind of just like a relief to feel that pressure, like, okay, it's not just me. Okay, this person has been through this. And you just decide to, rock with us. So I want to reintroduce myself. My name is Sierra Vernice. I am a life and business coach nowadays. But when you guys first met me, if you have been here for a very long time, because I think I started my YouTube channel back in 2021. And we kind of getting back into that content, which I'm very happy about, because to be honest, I kind of always knew in my mind that I was destined to, be that vessel, be that advocate, and be that person to help other people. But I just always said, like, I didn't know how I was going to do it. So now that I have grown, I am 3-4 years older. Like, life has been lifing. I have experienced so many different things. Now it's time to basically pour into y'all and to show y'all the right path, the right things to do, how to make the right choices, really learning how to love yourself, y'all. Like, I've been doing this journey for quite some time, and now I feel like this is what I've been waiting for. The stuff that I kind of was learning in the beginning, that was cool, that was nice. But the things that I learned today and the things that I go through and I experience and I have the opportunity to react and respond in a different way, I feel like I'm unstoppable. You can't stop me. Okay. No, but seriously, I am super excited about this journey. So the reason why I wanted to make this channel a thing again, and I wanted to start recording videos again, not just about business, but also about life things, because I just feel like, we need to stick together. We need to be in a community with each other, because oftentimes we really find ourselves being alone, and it's like we feel like we don't have anyone, when we all can be united and share the same love and share the same whatever, because truthfully, we are literally all we have, but it's better in numbers, so come on in. So I just want to say, I was very nervous, and I was very like, oh, I don't know if I want to record this, and I kept putting it off. And I had to tell myself that the first episode of this YouTube channel rebrand okay, rebrand, is to be intentional. And this episode is about being intentional and choosing to be intentional. So we got to make the intent to show up, because I don't know, like, if you're watching this now and this is like a breakthrough for you, it's like, this is why I have to show up. This is what I need to do, what I need to do. So we're going to talk about my life today, as an intro to this new channel, this new lifestyle content I'm going to post, the business content as well, and just ultimately sharing my journey with you guys, the growth that I've encountered, the growth that I'm going to continue to walk into. I want to take y'all on this journey. So if y'all want, go ahead, grab my hand, and let's take this walk. And of course, make sure y'all subscribe, because you won't be able to see when I post more videos if you don't subscribe. And I promise you, it's gonna be fun here. This episode is probably really going to be like kind of my sit back on the couch talk. And also, if you guys do not know, I have a podcast called Self-Express Podcast. Self-Express with Love Kills, but we working on the name change. Y'all gonna go through that journey with me too, because I've been working on it. But yeah, I want y'all to stay connected to me as much as possible. I am heavy on the socials. I make sure I check in with my community on Instagram. I make sure that I check in with my people on TikTok, because TikTok sometimes be having me in the rabbit hole. Like, I be scrolling for hours. So I try to stay off that app as often as possible. But I still try to record videos and give you guys some ideas, simply about what's going on in my life. But like I said, we're going to get right into it. This episode is definitely primarily about me, but it's also to encourage someone and motivate someone to live an intentional life as well. So what does it mean to be intentional? I get this question all the time, because people are like, okay, well, you're saying be intentional, you need to have an intent, but what does that really mean? I'm going to pull up the definition. So the best way that I can describe, and I even pulled up the definition, y'all, so y'all can see it on Google, okay? Done on purpose. That is the definition of intentional. You are doing something on purpose. You have set the intention, you have made the choice to do something on purpose. So when you say, okay, well, you telling me that, you know, I got to be intentional about my life. I got to be intentional about my dating. I got to be intentional about the people that I surround myself with. Yes, do it on purpose. Pay attention on purpose, okay? Do the things that normally most humans wouldn't do, because it's just so easy to go day in and day out and live for other people and to people please and to let your past affect your present. Like, it's so easy to get consumed in the day-to-day, and also just like the struggles, the challenges, the mishaps, everything. It's so easy to do that, especially when you have all different types of environments. And I'm not talking about, oh, you at the park, oh, you at the mall. No, I'm talking about the people that you deal with. They're bringing energy into you. The place that you work, if it's a place that you hate, then 9 times out of 10, you're going to be a miserable person. So it's like, we have to be intentional about our life. And y'all, I've always heard people say it to me, like when I would listen to like my mentors, or even if I would go to conferences and group sessions, like I would keep hearing the word, and I'm just like, okay, like be intentional, like whatever that means. Like, what does that even mean? But then I started to really just kind of figure out what intention was, because I would even read it in the books that I was reading. Like I said, I would see it on like Instagram, TikTok, stuff like that. Like, it would be driving me crazy, because it would just be like, okay, everybody's throwing this word around. Y'all know how the internet do. Y'all know how y'all do. When y'all learn a new word, y'all overuse it. But it's a real life relevant word when it comes to you living a better life. So the very first thing that I decided that I wanted to be intentional about was my routine. I started to pay attention to how I spent my time. I started to pay attention to things that I was doing day in and day out, and looking at my dreams and saying, okay, my dreams are here. The things I'm doing are here. I started to really look at the goals that I had, the dreams that I had, and I'm like, yo, I haven't checked any of these off. Like, what am I doing? So then I said, okay, well, I just don't have the time, because I'm being a mom, I'm going to work, I'm, you know, being a business coach. Like, I'm doing all these different things, and I just feel like everything goals wise is just sitting here because I can't touch it, because I don't have enough time. It's not the right time. And we're gonna talk about that on another episode. Okay, on another video we're gonna talk about that. So I'm sitting here and I'm just thinking to myself, like, okay, why isn't my goals and my dreams completed? Why do I not, like, it's a couple things I checked off, but it's like the things that I would think at a certain point in my life that they should be checked off, I had to really sit back and say, well, what are you doing? And of course I made the excuses of being a mom, being all of that, and I had to tell myself that, what does that even mean? If I set the intention to be a mother every day, to wake up, to get my child ready, to take him to school, to do all the things that needs to get done, it's done, right? I'm making the intent to get him to school. I'm making the intent to go to work, to bring home a check. Why are we not doing this with all the other things that are happening in your life, the things that you want? People don't realize, when you want a specific goal or you have a dream of your life being this one specific way, it's not just going to fall on your lap. You literally have to show up, wake up, and decide that I'm going to be intentional about getting my career off the ground. I am going to set the intention to make sure that I have a great day. I am going to set the intention to make sure that I read the Bible, I get closer to God, I do what I need to do so that ultimately I can be a better person. That's what being intentional is. So I had to really tell myself, okay, I say I want this specific type of life, but this is what it looks like. Like, this is realistically, this is what I'm doing, and this is what it looks like. How am I going to get from here to there? Because it seems like it's taking me forever. And then, of course, I asked that from one of my mentors, and the response was, well, be intentional. And I'm just like, bro, be intentional. And now I just understand it. And I'm a firm believer in hearing that quote, that phrase, when they say, like, oh, some things aren't revealed to you because you're not ready to receive them. When I used to hear that word, I used to just be like, okay, y'all are bugging me out. But I may have not mentally or emotionally or physically even been in the right space to receive what intentionality is. And when I tell y'all, I know now. I know now. And I want y'all to start being intentional and start really small. So, like, For me, I started with my daily routine. I started to realize that I was spending too much time on my phone, like day in, day out, whether I'm doing stuff for work or if I'm just scrolling. I had to tell myself, well, Sierra, you sit here and you complain about how you don't have the time to do X, Y, and Z and X, Y, and like all of that. Now, Siri. But no, I had that conversation with myself. Like, what is it that I'm doing that I keep saying that I don't have time for? What is it I'm doing that I don't need to be doing or that I can dial back on because, you know, it's not really working for me. Like, I'm not able to do my day-to-day life and, you know, work on my business. And at that point, that's really what it was. It was like I wasn't showing up for my business as much as I could have. And this was like my peak of what, maybe 2022, 2023. It's literally was like, why am I having this battle with myself when I know what I want and I know what I need to do, yet I'm still here? So I start to tell myself, like, okay, we're going to start setting time limits. And if you know me personally, you know my phone stay on DND. It goes on do not disturb my phone goes on do not disturb at a specific time. I make sure that in the morning that I always try to have slow mornings. Sometimes the slow morning may be an hour or two of lounging and taking my time to get ready. Some slow mornings maybe being in the bed all morning because that's just what I feel like, right? But I'm setting the intention to move slow. I'm setting the intention to be better. And we'll do a video about slow mornings because those are my favorites, especially like a good Saturday morning. And I love a slow morning in the middle of the week too, I'm not gonna lie. But the Saturday mornings I love even more because that means I get to sleep like super, super long. I get to sleep super longer, or I can get up and do some stuff and then fall back to sleep. Like it's no rush. But I'm gonna make sure I do a video on slow mornings. But back to my daily routine, I started to realize that, you know, okay, I'm spending a lot of time on my phone, and the do not disturb, it was working, but it really wasn't because I was still responding to people. And I'm still kind of learning how to, when my phone's on do not disturb, especially personal matters, I'm done. I'm checked out. Like when it's on, that means I don't want to talk anymore. That means I don't want to be disturbed. But I have to honor that. And that's the one part that I love about being intentional and having intentionality is that it's a secure bond. It's an agreement with yourself. And I tell people, look at being intentional like that. Look at it as if this is an agreement with myself. I can't break an agreement with myself because if I break agreement with myself, then I can't expect other people to be in my life and not break agreements with me because I don't even hold my own self accountable. But we ain't gonna talk about that, okay? So I start cutting down my screen time. Like I literally, when I tell y'all, go into Apple, go into your settings if you have an iPhone. I don't know if you're really able to do it on Android. No judgment. No judgment. But in your settings, you can literally set your screen time so that you are only on certain apps for a certain amount of time in one time period. And honestly, I probably should go back in my phone now and dial back sometime. So I started off with an hour. Now, granted, this, I want to say, give or take, this was maybe top of 2023. I was like, you know what? I got to really start by like not being heavy on my phone, especially if I'm not talking to anyone. There's no reason for me to have my phone. And I get it because the world, the way it is now, it's like everything is like device. Like I literally got 4 freaking devices sitting around me right now recording this video. But just because you have it, that doesn't mean that you have to consume your time, your energy into these devices, especially when you get on them social media accounts. It'd be a lot. So I set all my apps. I think I did TikTok, Twitter, and I did Instagram for an hour. Then I had realized the Instagram thing wasn't working for me because I spend a lot of time for business on Instagram. So I was like, okay, let me do 2 hours for that one. A couple minutes went by. 2 hours was too less, but really it was too much. And I caught myself scrolling again. So I was like, okay, you know what? Let's dial it back. Now we got to set a non-negotiable. You got an hour and 30 minutes, and you're on there primarily for an hour out of every day for work. If not, the last little 30 minutes can be for your own personal scroll when you got some downtime, but that's it. And that's all I lived by. So I did that for a good 2 months. I had it for a good 2 months. And even now that I'm saying it out loud, it's like I'm getting back into it. Now that I'm even sitting here openly recording, it's like I have to set that intention again to start not being on my phone. But I know now what I do instead of setting the apps as times, because I think everything doesn't work every time and everything doesn't work for everyone. So you kind of just really have to figure out like what works for you. So now I've been working off of a to-do list again, and I'm to-do list girly. But years ago I tried it and I did it for like a year or two, and then I didn't, because it was like, okay, this is not working for me. And then that's when I had my down in the dumps moment and, you know, just beat myself up about everything, and then realize that, you know, it's time to pick myself back up. So now my approach is to do my to-do list again. And what I do is I have a rule, and it's an agreement that I have with myself. Remember, the agreement is, if I say I'm bored, if I'm sitting here and even if I say that, oh, I was relaxing, or okay, I'm going to set the intention to relax for an hour, spend some time with my son, and then in the next 2 hours, I can start doing something that's on my list, because I already know at any point of that relaxing, it's going to be just endless scrolling, and I have to cap that time, right? So now with the screen time features on my phone, basically closing me out when my hour is up, and me working off my list and saying, okay, I'm bored, but I know there's something that I can do on my list. Because a lot of times you'll sit around and be like, oh, I'm bored and I have nothing to do, and you sit there and scroll, and then a couple of days later go by and you're like, oh, I was supposed to, and it's like, but remember when you were bored? You have to set the intention to want to change your life. You have to set the intention to want better in your life, because you can't sit around and say like, oh, I have all these dreams, I have all these aspirations, but do nothing about them. Like I said, they're not just going to fall in your lap. You really have to do the work. And that's what we're going to talk about in this channel. Like with this channel, I really just wanted to show face for one, and two, I wanted to share my journey on getting started with being intentional, and even like moving day to day. Like I had to tell myself, and I don't want to say I had to force myself, but I had to tell myself like, all right, Sierra, you've been talking about you're going to record your first video. I even got my assistant to do my banner for my channel cover. I literally already mapped out the idea of the first episode of me coming back. So yeah, like I've been doing the work of being intentional. So for me to procrastinate and to, you know, kind of continuously sit and wait for that perfect moment, I had to tell myself that, well, if I'm quote unquote living this intentional life, like I have to show up. So I hope that this episode has inspired somebody to get up and do what you need to do. And listen, I don't want to have to be that mom with the finger, because you my good sis. I don't want to treat you like a kid because you grown. But start being intentional with your life. Like when I tell you the little bit of steps that I took to say, you know what, let me start being intentional with my life and see how it goes. Ever since then, it's been like, I'm happier. Like, oh, I actually enjoy waking up in the morning, because I know that although between all the other roles that I have to play and all the different things I have to do day in and day out, if I be intentional about myself, my life, and how everything is going to move, then I am happy. Like if you ever want to experience pure happiness and peace, be intentional. Try it out. A lot of things that you can start with is things as simple as paying attention to how you operate in your day. See if you can change something, because 9 times out of 10, your day-to-day interactions is the reason that your life is the way that you are. And by interactions, I mean your interaction with yourself, your interaction with other people, your interaction with, you know, your extracurricular activities. Like start paying attention to how you move in your day, and then look at the dreams and the goals that you have and say, well, am I really moving towards being in my purpose, being in my goals, my dreams, the things that I really want to accomplish? And 9 times out of 10, the answer is no. But it's okay. You're aware now. That's the first step to like moving forward and changing your life. I literally cannot tell you enough. Start paying attention to your habits. Start realizing that when you say you're going to do something, do it. Integrity means the world to me. Before, when people used to say it to me, again, another foreign word, huh? And when I looked into it and I understood it, it was just like, you literally have to do what you say you're going to do and mean what you say that you're going to do. And that's why, before we wrap up this episode, this video, I keep calling it an episode because, again, the podcast, it just be in my mind. And now that I'm recording visuals, it's kind of different. This video, I would love to recommend this book. I have read this book over 3 times. I'm actually reading it again. But it's a book if you are a reader and you really want to start living the intentional life. I recommend reading the book, The 4 Agreements. Look, I still have my Target sticker on there, but I'm going to try to let it go there. Yep, by Don Miguel Ruiz. I think that's how you pronounce his name. One of my favorite personal development books. When I tell you, reading the 4 Agreements, I literally, when the first time I read this, I remember I was like, okay, these are 4 agreements that I need to have with myself, because again, if not with myself, then I can't have them with others or expect them from others. The 4 agreements that are in the book, I wrote on a post-it note, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to stick them on my mirror. I'm like, being Mary Jane style. Like, I used to love that show. I don't know why she posted all of them post-it notes when I was watching it, because I was young. I didn't understand it. I get it. I understand. Okay. But that's exactly what I did. And I decided to, you know what, every single day, read them, walk by them, live by these 4 agreements with yourself. And of course, like everything else, if I'm not setting the intention to be real with myself, and I'm not showing up for myself, it fell by the wayside. What can I say? I'm human. It happens. I ain't gonna blame myself about it, right? But when I had recently just got in therapy, which has been a journey, we'll talk about that too. We got a lot of episodes coming, videos, because I keep saying episodes. We got a lot of videos coming. This is a game changer. And my therapist recommended it to me, and I had told her, I'm like, girl, I read this book 3 times already, but I'll read it again. I'll read it again for sure. It's heavy. It's heavy, and it's small. Like, it's really not, I want to say it's like 100 and something pages. It's not bad. And again, if you are not a reader, you always got like Audible, and they probably have like videos and workbooks on this book now, because this book is old. It's been out for some time now, but definitely one of my biggest recommendations for a personal development book if you feel like you really want to start living a better life and just, you know, live that full life that you know you've been yearning for, because I know you feel it, because I feel it too. If you really want to experience that, you have to start being intentional. You have to start paying attention to how you operate in your life. You have to start paying attention to the things that you do, the people you interact with, because it makes a difference. And this is the best advice that I can give to anybody who is, let's say, maybe very young. Like, you may be in your teens, you may be in your early 20s. I'm in my late 20s. And I've learned a lot. I've experienced a lot. So if I could give any advice to y'all, it'll save you so many years of disappointment, heartbreak, headache. Start to create a relationship with yourself. Start to create a relationship with God, and get back to your most authentic self. Because when you live under all the conditions and all the filters, the features, and everything that you've learned growing up, if you continuously live like that, you're going to constantly live in a bad space, unfortunately. So get back to being pure, being honest, being true to yourself. Yeah, I wish I had somebody to tell me that years ago, because, and they probably did, but we don't listen. You know, what can I say? What can I say? But no, seriously, just start now. If you have the opportunity to start now, and again, it can be something super small. It can be something as simple as, oh, I'm going to set the intention to wake up at 5 a.m. Do it. Try it. You don't really know what you'll get out of it. But if you're a person who, quote unquote, feels like, I don't have enough time to do all these different things, but you sleep until 9, 10 o'clock in the morning, well, maybe, you know, let's try to do something differently. And as I exit, I want to leave y'all with this quote that is near dear to my heart. And I feel like a lot of people need to hear this. And because this video is about choosing an intentional life and living an intentional life, I feel like I need to end with this quote because it's just definitely one of my favorites. And it is simply this: if you want things to be different, you have to do different things. Mic drop, okay? If you want different outcomes, different results, you have to do things differently. You cannot continuously live your life same way in and out and expect a different result. You are literally doing the same thing over and over again that's getting you the same result. So we need to make sure that we are doing different things. And by different things, I mean different habits, different thought process, different perspectives, different ways of whatever, right? You have to do things different because the way that you're currently doing them, they're not going so well. That's why you're here. And it's okay. You know, like I literally will give you a hug. It is okay. But again, now that you're aware, it's time to start doing the work. Yeah, that was it, y'all. I made my first YouTube video since 2022 because I don't think I made a YouTube video in years. But I'm back again. Like I said, we will be talking about lifestyle. I also am probably going to plug in a couple of different segments. But this is my first one. I'm going to get it edited and I'm going to post it. I believe all of our videos should be getting posted every single Friday. So, God willingly, we gonna see y'all next Friday, okay? Yeah, that's all I got. Make sure y'all like and subscribe. I am super excited to share this journey with y'all. I am super excited to do some things. I have way more stuff to talk about, but I wanted to really just come back with this episode of being intentional and letting y'all know that I am setting the intention to share my journey to, you know, touch someone's heart and also to possibly change somebody's life because that's what I'm here for. So yeah, we'll get into so much stuff because I'm in a new home. It's a lot. Like, it's a lot. So stay tuned until next time. Mwah.